All right, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, and Shalom to the Akim out there preaching his word in truth and sincerity. This is Brother Shamar coming back with another lesson. And in this lesson, I wanted to go into a topic called abstain from lust, that war against the soul, because the scriptures speak about that, you know. As a matter of fact, I'll get that real quick, because you know how the spirit always warned against the flesh, and it's not even like it'll necessarily be things that would be necessarily going off. Yeah, it necessarily might not be things that may be going off per se, all right? Because the scriptures say, not trying to quote it verbatim, but all things are lawful, but not all things are expedient, so it may not be necessarily going off to do whatever may not be expedient for you per se. And you know yourself better than anyone, all right? Because the scriptures tell you to examine yourself, all right? Examine yourselves whether you be in the faith, know ye not yourselves. So you should know yourself, and the different things that are not expedient for your spirit or for you to do in general, all right? Because like I said, it may not be going off, all right? Like one example could be, you may be into playing video games or something, right? And it's not necessarily going off, but then you're overdoing it, and it's not expedient. Or like going, or like drinking or something, right? It ain't going off according to the scriptures to drink alcohol or something, but you might be overindulging in drinking alcohol, so then it's not expedient for you to indulge in that, to indulge in playing video games, or indulge in drinking, or indulge in whatever you may be overly giving yourself into, all right? Because it's not expedient for your spirit, all right? It's hindering your spirit from growing, okay? And the first scripture I wanted to get is in Galatians 5 and 17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. And this is, those were just examples I were given about the drinking or the video games, because like I said, it could be many things depending upon the person, because everybody has their different things that they battle with as far as the lust of the flesh, right? And like the scripture just said here in Galatians 5 and 17, the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. So this is a constant struggle that you deal with day in and day out, all right? Because we know spiritually, mentally, all right, we know in our spirit what's the right thing to do, or what things we should be doing, okay? But then what? Contrary to that, you have the flesh always trying to pull you in that other direction and stop you from doing the things that she would, like the scripture just said, so that you cannot do the things that she would. Because if it was up to us, obviously, I'm pretty sure every other brother out there would say the same. You would choose to be in the spirit 24/7 pretty much, and just say completely, forget everything in this world, fuck the flesh and all that other stuff. But it's easier said than done, because at the end of the day, we're in these chains of darkness, which we're subject to the lust of the flesh, as far as like those desires are those urges, should I say, are always going to pop up, so that battle, that constant struggle is always going to be there until we're in the kingdom. That's when it's going to go away. But until then, that constant struggle is always going to be there, as far as that your flesh battling against the spirit, that constant fight. And of course, we're not going to win that fight every single time, right? Because no man is perfect. Nonetheless, this is a constant battle that we have to endure and go through on a daily basis, that we can't just willingly lose. We have to put up a fight constantly, because we can't never be at rest. Once you like ease up, so to speak, then you could just like fall off, start overdoing whatever those lusts may be that you're battling against, all right, that you deal with in the flesh, because it's all fleshly desires, whether like, and it's all vanity, like the scriptures say as well, because this world is going to be done away with ultimately at the end of the day, man. All right. So the things that we should be focused on, you know, is the spirit. And like I said, this is just a constant battle that we have to go deal with day in and day out, and it's easier said than done. And that's why the apostle Gabar, like I believe he always said, the biggest enemy in his truth is yourself, because it's a mental battle that you deal with every day. Yeah, you can talk to counsel with other brothers and everything, but then at the end of the day, you know, it's you and yourself at the end of the day. Nobody can sit there and hold your hand and get you through something. It's you, yourself, and Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. The spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. And that's why we have to call upon Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and praise that name. All right. And the next scripture I wanted to get is in First Peter's. It's in First Peter chapter 2, verse. I'll start at verse 9. This is First Peter chapter 2, verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in time past were not people, but are now the people of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, which had not obtained mercy, but now, yeah, that's right, yeah, but which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. Dearly beloved, I beseech you, as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts, which war against the soul. So, you have plenty of examples in the scriptures that go into these things about abstaining from the fleshly lusts, these desires. All right. But that's part of the battle that we have to go through, because the scriptures tell you, through much tribulation shall you enter into the kingdom. So it's not going to be an easy thing. All right. This is part of the trial. You constantly battling against whatever those things be. Because like I said, everybody has the different things that those different lusts or different battles they deal with regarding the flesh against the spirit, man. Because every brother's walk isn't the same. All right. Some brothers may have some things in common, some brothers may not. So it all varies depending upon each person. Okay. But what did it say? Abstain from these fleshly lusts, which war against the flesh. Having your conversation honest amongst the Gentiles, that whereas they speak against you as evil doers, they may by your good works, which they shall behold, glorify Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai in the day of his visitation. And when that's saying having your conversation honest, that's how you conduct yourself, man. And that's how we stand out amongst these other people in the world, man, at the end of the day. Because how do we carry ourselves, man? We carry ourselves contrary to the people in this world, how they carry themselves, man. You think they're these people in the world, they even consider that, that this is a fleshly desire that I'm dealing with right now, that this isn't something that's expedient for me. I need to abstain from doing this thing. I need to fall back and chill, have more self-control, self-discipline. All right, all these different things. No, they don't even consider that, man. If anything, they dive into it even more, or give themselves up to it even more. Okay, because they're fully engulfed in in this world, man. All right. But we're not supposed to be as such. We're supposed to abstain from those things as much as possible. And like I said, it's easy, it's not going to be perfect. Nonetheless, how do you conquer that battle? By you leaning more upon the spirit and being more into the spirit. That way that you don't give into the flesh. Like the scriptures say, walk ye in the spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Okay. The next scripture I wanted to get is First Peter. It's still in First Peter chapter 4, verse. Start at 1. For as much For as much then as Yahweh Shai have suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind, for he that have suffered in the flesh have ceased from sin. And that's what keeps you humble ultimately, these sufferings or these constant struggles that we go through. Because if you had everything perfectly made for you, then you wouldn't be as humble, right? If everything was just all peaches and cream, so to speak, man. So these sufferings and these trials and these tribulations that we go to ultimately is to what? Keep us humble and to keep us calling upon Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, understanding that ultimately we need him to guide us and to put the spirit on us to continue to endure and get through whatever things we may be going through. Okay. In verse 2, it says that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And that's how we should be, man. Uh, we shouldn't be living in the lust of the flesh. All right. But which is basically the lust to the lust of men. That's how everybody else be, man. All right. Like I said, these people in the world, they're living in the lust of the flesh always, every single, if not every day, every weekend, they going out turning up. Their whole lifestyle that they live and imagine is focused around like you being a man pleaser. You focus on what the next person may think about you, how the next person may view you, impressing the next person, stunning on the next man, you know, doing what everything that they do is for the next person, not for themselves, or it's to make themselves look better to the next person, you know, ultimately all vainly things and lust of the flesh, man. Okay, but how are we supposed to be? We're not supposed to be living like that. We're supposed to be living according to the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, walking in the spirit, contrary to the ways of this world. All right, not giving into the lust of the flesh. And like I said earlier, yes, it's easier said than done. Nonetheless, you have to put up that fight, man. You have to make a conscious effort to not give into those lusts. Even when they do appear, man, abstain from them, you know. Find something else to put your energy into, to take away that, to get your mind off of that thought that popped up in your head, or that desire, or that desire of the flesh, or whatever that may be, that's not expedient for you, man. All right. The next scripture I wanted to get is in 1 John 2 and 16. I'll start at 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And that's right, man. All these things are of the world, like I said earlier. All right, this isn't of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai to be worried about or giving into these things, you know. This is all just ultimately fleshly desires, man. Like I said, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. Impressing the next person. You lusting after this chick. You're always gonna see another chick that look good. It's never ending, you know, as far as that goes. All right, people that's chasing after money, you could always chase after that because there's so much out there that it's a nonstop chase, and you can never get to a point to where you're satisfied, just like Esau. All right, so all of this thing is this whole world ultimately is all vanity, man. All right, and it's all just the lust of the flesh and the pride of life, like the scripture said. And this isn't of the Father, man. None of these things are spiritual, and it's not doing anything to for your spirit, man. All right. If anything, it's tearing away at your spirit, because the more that you give into these things, the more that you're led astray from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, you know. Verse 17, it says, "And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai abideth forever." And that's what it matters, man. You know, all these things are going to pass away. All right, everything that you see, these cars, the money, this stupid ass Babylonian lifestyle, the women, whatever you see here is all gonna be done away with, man. All right. But what's gonna abide forever? Yah, the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and the kingdom that's gonna be established here on earth, man. All right. This isn't forever where what we dealing with now. This is all temporary. And that's the kind of mindset that you have to have. And that's how you got to carry yourself, you know. And that's how you have to move in your day-to-day life. All right. And the next scripture I wanted to get is up in Sirach. Sirach 18 and 30. It says, "Go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thine appetites. If thou givest thy soul the desires that please her, she will make thee a laughingstock to thine enemies that malign thee." So don't go after those lusts, you know, because ultimately those lusts, they're going to lead you astray. They're not, those lusts are what? Exactly like that, lust, man. Because, all right, you have a lust for something, you chase after it, then you get it, then what? Then you're just going to have more lust for something else. This is nonstop. It's a never-ending thing, never-ending cycle. All right, and then like I said, it's not doing anything for your spirit by you chasing after that lust. And then once you got to accomplish whatever you wanted to get to, then it's just another level of lust that you got to chase after now. So it's a nonstop, you know, hamster wheel of lust that you're chasing after. Okay, and what did it say? It says, refrain yourself, man. Having your body under subjection, like Paul says, man. You gotta have discipline. All right, you gotta have self-control. All right, and if you're struggling with that, you gotta pray to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to put the spirit on you to have more discipline and self-control, to not give yourself unto those things that are not expedient for you. All right, that's what he's there for, man. For you to call upon him when you have trouble with whatever you may be going through. Because we can't win this battle on our own. We can't make it through all of this on our own. We have to call upon Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right. Yeah, like I was saying, you chasing after the lust of the flesh, man, you end up like these people in the world. Look at them. They're completely through. Because that's all they're doing is chasing after the lust of the flesh and the pride of life. And it's a never-ending chase. You never make it to the end goal, whatever that is, because like I said, you accomplish that lust. All right, so like one example, like dudes be dealing with is like with women, right? You lusting, burning in the flesh, whatever, right? You chase after a chick, you get the number, you get what you wanted, but then what? Then you want another one. After you got another one, it's like you always want to get you more and more. You never satisfy it, and what ultimately that's going to lead you astray, because that's all taking you away from your focus, your main focus, which should be, and your first woman, which should be this word and the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. All right. So this is a nonstop battle we deal with. Nonetheless, you got to have self-control and pray for that spirit to have more discipline and self-control if you struggle with that, and refrain from those lusts that are hindering your spirit and ultimately tearing away your spirit, because those lusts don't do anything good for you. You know, you chasing after them or giving yourself unto them don't do anything for you and your spirit. All right. And so I'm gonna wrap up right there, and give all praises again to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, and Shalom to the Akim out there preaching his word in truth and sincerity. Shalom.